them!
Archon Larson, Ms. Lyra, we have the latest updates on Domain 9 and the Gray Space entities.
Thank you for your hard work. Master Yu has already briefed me about the situation in Domain 9, but I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Based on our recent observations, we've noticed that abyss currents occur quite often in Domain 9, and the disasters caused by Gray Space entities are extremely severe. We've also seen quite a few Gray Space entities similar to the ones here in Vera.
Could those be the ones that have migrated from Vera to Domain 9?
They likely responded to the Hive Mother's call and traveled to Domain 9 via the abyss currents. Personally, I think there's a strong possibility that the Hive Mother is in Domain 9, but we don't have the ability to pinpoint her exact location right now.
How's the doctor doing?
Dr. Rubilia noticed a peculiar Blackstone ruin and initiated research into it, along with Lord Linghan, who is in charge of Marshville. I believe she will bring us more insights on the Gray Space entities soon.
Shirley and I also made some discoveries regarding the Blackstone ruins. There is a powerful Gray Space entity being held captive within Ignisville's Blackstone ruin. With the seal on the ruin gradually weakening, the Gray Space entity tried to escape its confinement. The situation has been resolved, but at a cost. There's barely any lifeblood left to sustain the operation of the timestamp system in Domain 9. If the lifeblood is depleted, the Gray Space entities imprisoned within will immediately break free and wreak havoc. And without the support of timestamps, battling these Gray Space entities would become even more challenging.
Indeed. We've heard about this from Master Yu. Inspired by Domain 9, Lyra has conducted in-depth research on Marzoid ore.
That is right, Archon Larson. After restarting the investigation of the confounding abyss and combining it with the findings from Domain 9, we've made significant breakthroughs in our research on Marzoid ore. We have narrowed down why Marzoid ore can serve as a substitute for lifeblood. The energy contained within Marzoid ore is essentially omnium. Just as the Executor said, there are Blackstone ruins that exist in Domain 9, which bear a striking resemblance to the ones in the confounding abyss. It's not surprising that Domain 9 also has minerals similar in nature to Marzoid ore. Unfortunately, after thoroughly analyzing the data provided by Master Yu, we found that the known reserves of Marzoid ore in Vera are far from sufficient to fill the gap.
So what do we do? There must be other solutions, right?
We are not completely out of options. Marzoid ore and lifeblood are merely different forms of energy. The energy that provides the timestamps is omnium. In other words, all we need to do is to provide enough omnium. Should Domain 9 be able to construct its own towers of fantasy and start extracting omnium from Mara, energy depletion wouldn't be a problem anymore.
Tower of Fantasy.
Of course, this also comes with risks. Master Yu is already aware of the harms and impacts caused by the Cataclysm, the Omnium Plague, and the out-of-control Omnium Reactor within the Tower of Fantasy. Anyway, Domain 9 is considering the solution. If the conditions are met, it would undoubtedly be the best choice. However, this is based on the assumption that Domain 9 falls within Mars' energy radiation range. If not, it's all just talk.
How can we know for sure?
District 7's application of Omnium technology isn't that advanced. We'll need the assistance of District 9.
I'll get in touch with Archon Elric and Master Yu later to discuss the matter and finalize a solution. You've done a great job exploring Domain 9. We'll be counting on your continued support for our future collaboration with them.
We're glad to be of help.
Now then, Miss Shirley and the Executor should return to Asperia to wait for Archon Elric's instructions. In terms of other partnerships with Domain 9, there are some details I need to confirm. Tianlong, come with me.
It's finally my turn to go to Meroria? The popular magic-themed masterpieces and the hyper-realistic merchandise from that city I've been thinking about for so long.
You'll need to touch bases with Miss Lyra in Meroria, then make your way to Domain 9 through the Celestial Gate.
I suppose that could work. Even if I can only stay for a little bit, I'm sure I'll get a chance to snag some goods.
Executor Miss Shirley, allow me to introduce you. This is Brevi, a Tower of Fantasy engineer.
Hello there. I'm usually cooped up at home, but even I have heard about you two. At least, I think I have?
We have already reached an agreement with Domain 9. Once we confirm that Domain 9 can harness Omnium radiation from Mara, we'll commence the construction of a Tower of Fantasy. Brevi is set to accompany you to Domain 9 for the initial inspection. If the optimal solution for Domain 9 to obtain Omnium is indeed the construction of a Tower of Fantasy, Hykros will spare no effort in providing assistance and support. Even though the construction of the Tower of Fantasy has been essentially stalled since the Cataclysm, our research on Omnium has never ceased.
But at this point, we've run into a roadblock that we can't seem to overcome. It is what it is.
Hopefully, our understanding of Omnium can assist Domain 9 and the entire human civilization to safely navigate through the gray space entity crisis. Venturing to Domain 9 to investigate the possibility of constructing the Tower of Fantasy is our first step.
Bleep bleep. Hykros' current technology is more than capable of conducting the investigation, but understanding the local conditions, well, that's another story.
Bleep bleep? Is that the name of some new technology?
She says it's her special notification sound.
Huh?
Don't worry, Teach. I'll be careful with these, uncommon phrases to avoid any possible misunderstandings. Rest assured, I'll uphold the image of a serious and reliable Hykros researcher.
I'm sure you'll handle it appropriately. Don't worry about your projects here. I'll have someone take over. If there's anything else you need, just let me know. In addition, an executor will be appointed to go with you for your safety.
Anything? Well, I would like a large amount of extra funding. Also, can I choose my own bodyguard? I want Yanunu to come too.
Considering she might still be on a mission, it might be best to choose from the others first. I'll check on Yanuo's schedule later.
And no matter who I pick, there'll be a stranger. Never mind. I believe I can get along well with the Executor and Miss Shirley. I'll be fine without a bodyguard.
Wouldn't that just burden them with additional work?
What do you guys think? This is actually my first time leaving Hykros. I'm not really sure what kind of problems I might encounter.
Don't worry about it. Just leave it to us.
Keeping the team lean. That's not a bad idea. While you're on your mission, could you also keep an eye out for this inexperienced student of mine? I'd really appreciate it.
I can take care of myself even if Yanunu is not around. Yes, this is also a necessary challenge on the path to making miracles.
Oh, well then. I'm looking forward to working with you, Miss Brevi.
Oh. Is it just me? Or does the air even smell different here?
How do you feel? Are you uncomfortable at all?
Perhaps traversing through space-time barriers all in one go is a bit too much for a first-timer like me. My sight is growing ever dimmer in the encroaching darkness. If I were to fall here...
We'll get you to a place to rest. Come on.
That's the scene I had imagined, but it turned out to be easier than I thought.
Huh?
Bleep bleep! Thank you all for your concern. I've done some last-minute cramming. I think I'm as ready as I can possibly be. This trip has been surprisingly uneventful. There's no opportunity to put those survival skills Yanunu mentioned to use, it seems. Like, how to survive in the wilderness with no signs of civilization, and how to survive by foraging for edible plants. I thought there might be a chance to put all this knowledge to use.
It's not that extreme.
I seem to be doing fine adapting to the new environment, but the accommodations have me a bit worried. Making the bed and doing laundry isn't my strong suit. I predict that within a day, I'll have the guest room in a total mess. I wonder if there'll be any staff to help.
I think that shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, that's good to hear. Now that we're here, let's get straight to work. This is a rare hands-on exam. If my teacher thinks that I'm the type to drop the ball at crucial moments, it'll make future funding applications even harder.
Welcome back, Executor, Miss Shirley, and Miss Brevi from Hykros. We've made ample preparations for our in-depth partnership. Please follow me to the Infinite Sundial first.
The Infinite Sundial? That's the most important facility in Domain 9 for energy reaction and conversion, right? I remember reading about it in the prep materials.
That's right. The Infinite Sundial transfers the field energy originating from Lifeblood to various timestamp facilities. It's the most critical hub in the entire timestamp system.
Very fascinating. I'd love to see it. Could you walk me through how it works and the logic behind it? Is it just a novelty? Or does this place not seem as dull as Asperia?
Of course. I'll get the tour set up immediately.
Welcome, Miss Brevi. Let me introduce Miss Brevi, the architect of the Tower of Fantasy from Hykros. She'll be conducting an inspection regarding the construction of a Tower of Fantasy in Domain 9.
First things first. We have to ensure that Domain 9 is within Mara's energy radiation range before we can move forward with the next steps. If we can confirm this, maybe we could prove that Domain 9 is a part of Ida. Just maybe. For some reason, Domain 9 and the other regions have become isolated from each other. What's the principle behind the deployment of this barrier? In any case, if this is true, it falls in line with Hykros' prior hypothesis. Domain 9, just like Vera and Asperia, is another missing part of Ida.
Miss Brevi's ideas are quite promising for further study. It seems that this verification process might unearth key information we have not yet realized. I'll leave it up to Miss Brevi to take the lead and decide how to proceed.
Before we move forward, I have a question. How exactly did Domain 9 pinpoint Vera's coordinates and open the Celestial Gate?
Domain 9 experienced a very unusual space-time fluctuation some time ago. Due to the impact of the fluctuation, we managed to track down more parameters of the outside world. The data was harvested and processed by 3 space-time anchor stations in Joltville. It was then sent to the Infinite Sundial and calculated by our supercomputer, Tempos. Therefore, we precisely identified the location of the outside world Celestial Gate in Ignisville, making our trip to Vera possible.
I see. Just as I had imagined. Then, we can replicate the same procedure this time, surveying the space-time anchor points of Mara through these 3 facilities. But given that Mara exists in higher dimensional space-time, we need to adjust the survey parameters to sense its presence. It might even require modifications to the anchoring device.
Of course, that's not a problem. Neo, I'd like you and Yoon to assist Miss Brevi with the modifications.
Understood.
Moreover, taking into account the time required for the project and the budget for the equipment, I don't see the need for a new Tower of Fantasy in Domain 9. We can accomplish the same goal by modifying the Infinite Sundial, the hub of the timestamp system.
Modifying the Infinite Sundial? Wouldn't that interfere with the functioning of the whole timestamp system?
We'll have to determine that based on the actual circumstances when the time comes. However, if the 2 facilities operate independently, it could potentially lead to a large-scale energy loss during transmission. In that situation, Tower of Fantasy's energy efficiency would significantly decrease, possibly not meeting the Infinite Sundial's needs. All things considered, remodeling the Infinite Sundial is the best solution.
Tianzhong Pavilion will carefully evaluate the proposal. It's absolutely critical that we ensure the Infinite Sundial continues to function perfectly. There's no room for error.
I'll leave the proposal evaluation to Mimi. In the meantime, our priority is to survey the existence of Mara.
Please follow me to Tianzhong Pavilion, and we can discuss the plans for the anchoring device modification.
My name is Yoon, and I oversee the Infinite Sundial. I'd be delighted to assist in any way I can.
A new member just joined our party? Our group's friendship EXP just got a major boost!
I just did a quick calculation of the transmission power needed for the survey, and the space-time anchor stations can meet this requirement. As for how to equip the space-time anchor stations with the ability to survey Mara, that's down to Miss Brevi's plan.
Right. For that, we just need to request Hycros to transport the space-time monitoring modules to Domain 9.
I see. Miss Brevi must be planning to replace the existing modules of the space-time anchor stations with the ones from Hycros, right?
That's right! Our collective brain power is leveling up!
Thank you, Executor. Please wait a moment. The modifications will be completed shortly. Next, we need to install these connectors at the 3 space-time anchor stations. Let me just double-check. Okay, everything looks good. I'll be on my way.
Mr. Neo, could you hold on for a second? It seems there might still be some unresolved issues in the debugging program.
Did I miss something? Let me have a look.
Should I take care of the device installation then? It would save you some time.
That would be a huge help. Thank you for doing this, Executor.
Mission accomplished. Now we can initiate the survey.
It's like we're about to activate a magic eye that deconstructs reality. Let's make sure we get a good look.
Initiating data scan, amplifying the Class A signal.
Search in progress.
detailed comparison at this anchor point.
Right away.
Quick, we need a detailed spectral analysis, Ace!
Let's speed it up. Omnium reaction detected.
Space-time anchor point confirmed. The features are a perfect match.
Oh, it's Mara. Looks like Domain 9 can indeed receive Omnium from Mara. Now, it's time for us to present our findings. Based on the calculations we've just carried out, we can confidently say that it is possible to build a Tower of Fantasy right here in Domain 9. But that's just the feasibility from an objective point of view. So, people of Domain 9, have you also made your decision on whether to move forward with this plan? Let's see where your resolve stands.
Building a Tower of Fantasy. Drawing Omnium energy from Mara. This means we're attempting to harness a power that doesn't inherently belong to us. But the darkness has placed Domain 9's existence at significant risk. We must use every possible method or resource we have at our disposal right now. We have to face the risks associated with the Tower of Fantasy, no matter what they are.
Back then, Hykros was like an amateur sorcerer who had only picked up a few basic spells, yet forced themselves to wield grand magic. The consequence was... boom! Very dangerous. Anyway, that was just a limitation of our scientific understanding back then. Learning from Asperia's mistakes, I believe we'll be more careful with the Tower of Fantasy's operation in Domain 9.
Zhen Gong will spare no effort to ensure the smooth operation of the Tower of Fantasy in Domain 9. And that's not all. We also plan to further strengthen our partnership with Hykros, contributing to our joint understanding of Omnium technology. With our combined efforts, we might just find a better way to ensure the safe and smooth operation of the Tower of Fantasy.
Alright, I'm looking forward to the technology from Domain 9. Before officially modifying the Infinite Sundial, I need to prepare the Omnium Reactor first. It's crucial as it will allow the Infinite Sundial to process and channel the energy from Mara. It's about time I reported our progress to my teacher. I need to head back to Hykros first.
I will arrange for a domain guard to accompany Miss Brevi back to the Celestial Gate. Especially considering the frequent disruptions from the darkness, travel safety is a necessity.
Thank you. I appreciate your thoughtfulness.
Master Yu, abyss currents have manifested across Joltville. The darkness is ceaselessly flooding into Domain 9. The situation near Tianzhang Pavilion is particularly dire, and Lord Fu Li has requested Madame Huang to take immediate action.
Clearly, the darkness is exploiting the abnormal fluctuations caused by the survey earlier. They just never quit! I'll go deal with it now, Master Yu.
Tianzhang Pavilion is fundamentally important. If the darkness's activities jeopardize its facilities, it could affect the entire timestamp system. Would it be possible for the Executor and Miss Shirley to join Mimi?
Leave it to us.